Questioning the cause of the helicopter crash that killed the Iranian president, Israel declared it was not involved in the helicopter crash that killed the Iranian president. An Israeli official told Reuters, Israel was not involved in the president's death. Iran Ebrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash on May 19. The helicopter crash also killed Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian and a number of other officials. Not us, said an Israeli official who requested anonymity. There is currently no official Israeli reaction to the death of the Iranian president. However, the Times of Israel quoted opposition lawmaker Avigdor Liberman as saying that Israel does not think that President Raisi's death will make any difference to Iran's policies in the region. For us it is not a problem and will not affect Israel's attitude towards Iran. Iran's policies are set by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. We will not shed a single tear, Mr. Lieberman told news site Ynet. Regarding the cause of the helicopter crash, U.S. aviation analyst Kyle Bailey told Al Jazeera that the lack of communication from the pilot or other members of the flight crew demonstrated a serious control problem. If a helicopter experiences a serious technical problem mid-flight, Mr. Bailey noted, the pilot's first task is to keep the plane flying, then to communicate. Mr. Bailey added, we basically didn't see any communication, perhaps because the pilot was too focused on landing the helicopter or keeping it in the sky. The analyst also explained, it is very possible that the tail rotor broke off after the main rotor hit the tail. He said this could be due to aerodynamic forces created when the pilot was maneuvering to land the helicopter, or it could be due to a technical problem. Another possibility, he said, is a damaged tail rotor. If we see a spiral motion where the helicopter rotates 360 degrees, clockwise or counterclockwise, that could indicate a failure of the tail rotor and the helicopter will lose control. According to Mr. Bailey, adverse weather conditions and mountainous terrain may also have contributed to the fatal accident. This particular helicopter has been reconfigured to carry 15 people, including a pilot. Sanctions have made it difficult for Iran to buy parts or new planes. According to the Flight Safety Foundation, a non-profit organization focused on aviation safety, the recent fatal crash Bell 212's most recent incident was in September 2023, when a private helicopter crashed off the coast of the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Iran has been subject to strict international sanctions since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Decades of U.S. sanctions have prevented Iran from buying new Western aircraft and spare parts. West. Sanam Vakil, a Middle East expert at Chatham House, a London-based research group, said Iran's aviation industry has long suffered from sanctions. Iran has seen a lot of aviation incidents, not only helicopters but also plane crashes, and I think this is definitely related to sanctions, Ms. Vakil said. Ms. Vakil said that although she did not have detailed information about the circumstances surrounding the May 19 accident, published information showed that two of Iran's top leaders, including President and Secretary of State, were riding in an old helicopter. Iranian state media showed images showing that the helicopter that crashed was a Bell 212. This helicopter was originally developed for the Canadian military in the 1960s, according to Reuters news agency. Iranian authorities have tried to increase domestic production and provide suitable aircraft parts to cope with sanctions. However, according to experts, important high-tech parts in the aviation industry can be difficult to manufacture domestically. Vadim Bazikin, a Russian helicopter pilot, said helicopters are vehicles that operate in all weather conditions. But unfortunately, the weakest point of the helicopter is the crew because there are not many pilots who can fly in bad weather, Mr. Bazikin said. Mountainous areas have their own characteristics, with mountain slopes, steep slopes, and bumpy places. An experienced pilot who has flown in the mountains knows this well and he needs to prepare in advance for every situation, experts note. Experts added that when entering an area with dense fog, helicopter pilots carrying President Raisi are forced to calculate a safe altitude. According to him, this helicopter seemed to have flown below the allowed altitude. The fog is usually 300-500 m thick. The pilots should have checked carefully to see if there was a chance to land, otherwise they should have turned around. There was no other choice, the expert emphasized. Strong. Referring to possible technical errors on the US-made Bell 212 helicopter, Mr. Basikin emphasized that security is the top priority when it comes to presidential vehicles. He added that while the presidential helicopter is a very reliable vehicle, it is outdated. According to TASS, Sputnik.